So we have started with our new chapter, generation of electricity. In last chapter, what we saw hydroelectric power station, it's working, right? And then we saw nuclear power station. So in today's lecture, what we are going to see is thermal power station and diesel power station. So you all know what is the working of hydro and nuclear. So what we did first? We rotated the turbine, right? Shaft of the turbine, and we produced the mechanical energy. And this mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy by the alternator, right? Now, what we have to study in this thermal and diesel power plant, we'll see. But first, whenever the question is asked, explain hydroelectric power station or whichever they will ask, what you have to write is, first draw the layout diagram. Okay, so this is the diagram of thermal power station. So first what you have to do, you have to draw this diagram. After this diagram, you have to give the description. Okay, you have to give few lines, 4 to 5 lines of description, and then what you have to do, the function of each equipment. So now consider in this thermal, what is the function of boiler? What happens in boiler? You have to write that in point wise. Okay. And after that, after giving the function of equipments, you have to state few advantages and few disadvantages. Right? So this is how you have to write in the paper. If they have asked question, explain thermal power plant, explain hydro power plant, explain nuclear power plant. So the way is similar. First you have to draw the layout, then give a small description, 3 or 4 to 5 lines. Then each equipment you have to give the function and then give the advantages and disadvantages. So in today's lecture, what we are going to see is thermal power station and diesel power station. So this is the layout diagram of thermal power station. So just pause the video and draw the diagram in your notebook. I will give the explanation. So basic principle. What is the basic principle of this thermal power plant? First we have to generate the heat. Okay, so heat is generated here. Due to this heat, what we have to do? We have to take water. This water is then converted into steam. Okay, and because of this steam, what happens? The turbine, the shaft of turbine will rotate, and because of this rotation, our alternator is coupled with this turbine shaft. Alternator will produce electrical energy. So you have understood the basic, what is the working or on what principle it works. So in boiler, first heat is produced. Because of this heat, what happens? Water gets converted into steam, high pressure steam. So because of this, what happens? This steam will go to the turbine, and due to this, what will happen? Our turbine will rotate. Okay, turbine will rotate, and due to this rotation, what will happen? Our alternator will produce electrical energy. So this is the principle. On this principle, the thermal power station works. So how is the heat produced in the boiler? Okay, so how is the heat produced? What we do? We burn the coal in this boiler, right? And the main question is, for burning of coal, we require air, right? Right? So we require air. So what are the two basic requirements? We require coal and we require air for the burning of coal. So first here is boiler, here is the coal storage, right? So whenever the coal, we have to get the coal from the coal mines. Okay, so whenever we get the coal from the coal mines, we store the coal here in the coal storage. Here the coal is stored, and then with the help of conveyor belt, what happens? This coal is transferred to the boiler. Right? Now we will see ash storage and ash handling. So whenever the coal will be burnt here, what will happen? There will be ash. In Marathi they call rak. So ash that is generated here what will we have to do? It is removed. Yes, it is drained to this ash storage. Right. So the ash from the boiler is transferred to the ash storage. So here the coal, whenever we want heat, then what we'll do? We'll take this coal from this coal storage, right? And for the burning, what we'll do here is fan, right? So what we do, we force the atmospheric air, surrounding air to come in our boiler. So what will happen? The coal will burn, right? So coal is coming from here, air is coming here, the surrounding air is coming from here. You can see it is passing through air preheater. We'll see further why our surrounding air, environmental air, is passing through the air preheater and then entering the boiler, right? We might have entered the air, surrounding air directly, right? But what we are doing, we are taking the air from surrounding and giving to the air preheater and then giving to the boiler, right? So this is the way of the air. So you have to show the arrows, okay? So we'll see further why we have provided here air preheater, right? Now this is the process, okay? So in our boiler, what will happen? Coal will get burned, okay? When this coal will get burned, then what will happen? Heat will be produced in the boiler, right? So heat will be produced in the boiler. Now from this condenser, there is a water storage here. From this water storage, what will happen? The water will come here. It will come from economizer and then go to the boiler, right? Here also our air is coming from air preheater and then to the boiler, and our water is also coming from this particular block and then coming to the boiler, right? Then this water, what will happen? It will get converted into steam because of the heat in the boiler. So this steam, whatever we have converted water into steam, it will go in superheater. Okay, so the steam which we have produced here is wet steam, right? So we have to make it dry. So what we do, we give this steam to the superheater. In the superheater, the steam that is produced in the wet steam is produced in the boiler. So this wet steam is given to this superheater. What will happen? The steam will get dried, and then this steam is given to the turbine, right? And you know the function here. What will happen? Due to this steam, the turbine will rotate, the shaft of turbine will rotate, and due to this, electricity is produced, right? Now from this turbine, what will happen? The steam will go to the condenser and the steam will get converted back into the water in this condenser, right? So here the cooling process happens, or the conversion of steam to water happens. So in the condenser, the water will get hot. So what we do, we give this water to the cooling tower, and this cooling tower will cool the water in the condenser, right? And due to this, what will happen? The steam that we have converted into water, that will also get cooled, and then it will be sent back to the boiler, right? Now we'll see what or why we have given this water through this block, and why we have given the air, environmental air, from this block to the boiler. Okay. So whenever we burn the coal, then what will happen? There will be some gases created, right? There will be some gases. Okay, so these are called as flue gases, and these gases are removed from this superheater. So trace their journey. Okay, so these flue gases are generated in the boiler. Why? Because of this coal burning, gases will be generated, and these are called as flue gases. And these gases will travel from superheater to economizer, and from the air heater, and then it is given to the chimney, right? So trace their journey. So it is for superheater, economizer, air preheater, and to the chimney. Right? Now these flue gases are hot, right? They are also little bit hot. Then whenever they pass through this superheater, this steam, whatever we have converted, so this steam that is going to the turbine, that is wet steam. So whenever it comes in the superheater, what will happen? Due to these flue gases, it will get superheated, right? And due to this, what will happen? Our dry steam will be generated here, right? And this flue gases, then again it will go to the economizer, right? Now the economizer input is what? Water. So the water coming from this condenser, right? Water coming from this condenser will also get a bit hot because of the flue gases. Now these gases will go in air preheater. Now these gases will go in air preheater. So what we are doing here from this air preheater, what is the input? We are taking the surrounding air we are providing it to the boiler. So because of these gases, what will happen? Our air which we are taking from the surrounding will get hot and it will go to our boiler, right? So this is the working of the thermal power station. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask. So this is the basic working of the thermal power station. So now what you have to write in exam for this thermal power station? First draw this layout, give 3, 4, 5 description lines. Okay, so what then next you have to give the function, right? Description of the equipments, right? Now you have to give the description of this boiler, economizer, super preheater, right? What happens here? Okay, now consider this economizer. So what happens here? The flue gases from superheater will go to the economizer, right? You have to write this in simple words. So what will happen? This flue gases will travel from superheater and then it will continue to go to the economizer, right? The water we are giving to this economizer will get what it will get? Heated up by the flue gases. Why? Because these flue gases are traveling here, right? So this is how we have to give some description and then state the advantages and disadvantages. Now we'll see the advantages of this power station. Okay, the area for this station is small. So the area, whatever this plant will be there, the area is small as compared to hydropower plant. Hydropower plant requires a large area as compared to this thermal power station. Okay, if compared with diesel station, cost of generation is lesser. So the diesel that we are going to see next. So diesel is very high costly and this is little bit less costly than the diesel power plant. So this site for this power plant, it is suitable anywhere, right? This requires a less capital cost. The coal fuel is available in a large scale and at cheaper rate. That means the price of coal is cheaper. These all are the advantages. Now we'll see what are the disadvantages. So as compared to hydropower plant, the cost of running, so the running cost is large. And the main disadvantage is what? Due to this, in boiler, what we are doing? We are burning the coal, right? Due to this, air pollution is happen, right? And ash, smoke and gases are produced. So this is the main disadvantage. You have to remember it. There is no need to remember. It is very common or it is very easy to understand this. The plant is dirty and dusty due to gases and ash. So it is obvious there will be ash generated, then what will happen? Our plant will get polluted and dirty. Transport of fuel from distant places increases the cost of generation. So the cost required is for only transportations. Why? Because we have to take that coal from the mines to our plant. So the transportation cost is more. Okay. So this is about the thermal power station. Now we'll see diesel power station, how it works and what is the working of diesel power station. So this is the layout diagram of diesel power station. So just pause the video and draw the diagram. So this is the layout of diesel power plant. So what is the basic, or we'll see what is the working of this. So similarly from the other, what we require heat. So in last power plant, in thermal power plant, we got that heat from burning of coal. But now in this, what is this power plant? This is diesel power plant. Okay, in this diesel power plant, similar to the thermal, after burning the coal, we were getting the heat. Now similarly in this, we'll burn the diesel to get the required heat. And the main difference is, there is no turbine, right? This engine is directly shaft to the alternator. It's coupled to the alternator, right? So this is directly coupled to the alternator. So you have to write this in description. Okay. Now we'll see the working, how it works. So diesel power plant basically works on CI engine. Okay, so our diesel power plant works on CI engine. That means compression and ignition. Just you have to remember this. It is not necessary to write this, but just remember this works on compression and ignition. Now, what we require to burn the diesel? We require fuel and we require air. When these two things are there, then our diesel engine will work. So what we require? We require air and we require the diesel. So from here we intake the air, right? So the required air is taken from the atmosphere. So the air is taken from the atmosphere, and then this is the filter, right? This is EF written here. So this is the filter. So we give this filter so that the dust will not enter the engine, right? So this is the air intake. Now we'll see the fuel diesel system. So this is the fuel tank. So this is the storage of fuel is done here. So basically where you see this power plant, so this is also known as a standby. That means for the emergency cases. Okay. In the emergency purpose, we only use this. Why? Because the cost of diesel is very high. So we cannot use this continuously like hydro, right? So this cost is high. So we use it on the specific or on the emergency basis. We not use this continuously. So you can see in the hospitals. So this is there in the hospitals, right? Now we'll see the fuel tank. So here in this fuel tank, the storage of fuel is done. And then this is the filter. So the fuel is also filtered, and from this pump it is given to the injector. So this is injector. Remember, this is injector. So what this injector will do? So this fuel is taken, it is filtered, it is given to the pump, and due to this pump this will come here, and this injector, what will it do? It will convert our fuel in fine droplets. Okay, so our fuel is converted into fine droplets. So from this injector our fuel will get converted into fine droplets, so that it will mix with the air. We are taking air from here, so it will mix this droplets, fuel droplets and air will mix here, and it will burn easily and heat will be produced. Okay, so this is how it will come here. Air and fuel will come in this diesel engine. So whenever our diesel engine will start working, then this shaft will rotate and we'll get the electricity here. Now, so the gases will be generated, right? So the gases are generated similar to the thermal power station. The gases were generated. Now these gases are removed, right? These are the exhaust gases and they are given from the silencer. Why? Because they produce a lot of noise. So to avoid this, they are given to this silencer. And this diesel engine also has this covering, right? This also works as silencer. The noise inside will not come outside. Okay, so diesel oil. So the diesel oil is kept in large stock. The tanker is provided here. This is the fuel tank. Okay, now we'll see the lubricating tank. So what we saw, how the fuel is intaken. The air is how it is taken inside. We saw how the exhaust gases go outside. Now we'll see lubricating tank. So what does it mean by lubricating tank? So it has lubricating oil. What it does, lubricating oil, so it will come here because of this pump and then it will get filtered. In our engine there will be different parts. Okay, so there are different parts, mechanical parts, they are working, right? So this lubrication oil, what will do, it will go to that moving parts and it will oil that part. So what, it will reduce the friction losses. Are you understanding the point? Due to this lubricating tank, it has lubricating oil, and to avoid the friction, to minimize the friction, this oil will go or move to the parts, moving parts in this engine. Engine has different parts, so there will be friction provided. To reduce this friction, the lubricating oil will go. Right. Now, what is the next point of this lubricating oil? Heat will be produced inside this, right? So heat produced by this engine has to be taken outside. So this oil will go in this diesel engine. The heat will get transferred to this lubricating oil, and then this lubricating oil will come outside of this engine. So heat will be carried out by lubricating oils, then it will pass through the filter and then it will go to the oil cooler. That means lubricating oil that has got heated here will come in the oil cooler, right? And here it is condenser. So this oil cooler, what will it do? It will cool our lubricating oil and then it's sent back to our lubricating tank. So here is our condenser, right? Now this cooling oil is attached to the condenser and then to the cooling tower. For the cooling, right? So the water is used for the cooling purpose. So hot water that is produced, so the water in the oil cooler, what it will do? It will take the heat of this oil, lubricating oil, and it will go to the condenser. If there are any steam formed by chance, then in this condenser what will happen? It will get converted back into water and it will come here. Now this condenser, whenever the water in the condenser will get hot, then what will happen? It will go to the cooling tower, and due to this the cooling tower are very large, the water is showering, and because of that the water will be get cooled, and this our oil cooler will cool our oil, lubricating oil, and then it will come back to the lubricating tank. Now you know that engine is directly coupled to the alternator. So whenever the engine works, the alternator will produce our electricity, right? But now here the engine, for the initial starting, it will not start initially, right? So for the making the engine start at the first time, what we have to do? We have to provide the air. So here we have provided the compressor. So this compressor, what it does? It provides the air, compressed air, to this engine. Then what happens? Due to this compressed air, the engine shaft will rotate and then our engine will start. Okay. So just remember, our engine will not start by itself. So what we have done here, we have provided compressor, and this compressor, what will it will do? It will take, or it will provide compressed air, right? High pressure air is given to the cylinder, to this diesel engine. So due to this, what will happen? The shaft, engine shaft will rotate and our engine will start working. So this is all the functions. Okay, now we'll see the advantages and disadvantages. So advantages, what are the advantages? Small area is required, right? Small area is required. So installation is very easy and quick. So we can install it very easily and it is the quick action. Capital cost is less. Efficiency is more than the steam power plant. So the efficiency of this plant is more. Working hands and labor required is small. So the labors means the people required here in this plant are very low. Number of people required are very low. Water requirement is less. So we use the water same. So the water requirement is less. Unit can be installed for emergency purposes such as in hospitals, cinema halls. So as I said, this engine, this diesel power plant is installed for emergency. So in emergency, these are installed for, in example, for in hospitals and cinema halls. Okay, now we'll see the disadvantages. Cost of diesel, as we all know, cost of diesel is high. Therefore, the running cost is high. So we cannot afford it. Diesel cost is high. Due to oil handling and lubrication, oil maintenance is more. So we have to oil the parts of this diesel engine and that cost more. Maintenance is more. Plant does not look clean. Capacity is very small. Right? So these are all the advantages and disadvantages of this plant. Okay. So this is all about the thermal and diesel power plant. So if you have any doubts, you can please ask.